Sasha on air, I saw your message. All right, good evening, good evening. So I want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. I'm Afonso Zian Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We want to welcome our viewers. I just shared live program for us, wherever you are. And as we are here this evening to have a conversation about the country and not about ourselves. Taking you to Greater Liberia here this evening. Jeremiah, good evening. Welcome. Aliu, thank you so much. Victoria, good to have you here. Alan, uh, Plet, hopefully, Combat, Glory, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. Each and everyone, can just do us a favor by hitting the share button. That will also help to invite someone to this program here. Very shortly, the analysts are going to be joining me here, and then we're going to have a conversation here, right here this evening, as usual, to discuss news, information, and entertainment. News making headlines in Liberia and other parts of the world. Thank you so much, and we will get the program right on the way here in a short bit. Okay, let's. Oh, what an evening here. Clarence Davis, good to have you here. Thank you so much. And we say thank you to all of our viewers and listeners across the globe. Whatever you are, we say good evening. So welcome. This is the Diaspora to Informative News outlet, Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Today is Friday, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. And as usual, we'll be here to have a conversation here. News, fair balance. The analysts are coming already. And we're going to be having a conversation here. So let's bring out the sound that introduces the program right here with LPR TV Live with the panelists. Good evening. Welcome to this program. I'm Alfonso Zienso, your host, your anchor and presenter in today's edition of LPR TV Live with the analysts right here from the New England Bureau, from the ocean state of Rhode Island. Good to have you here and hope everybody doing pretty good, fine. The weather. If this is the first time, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome on this network. If you have been here before, we say thank you for keeping the courage. Thank you for believing in us. And we also believe in you. Even if you don't believe in us, we believe in you by virtue of you being here. So this is something that we value. And again, for those of you, we are not here to tell you what you really want to hear. We know how divisive the politics of Liberia. It's not just only with the politicians; they are surrogates, they are supporters. So people go to outlet for a variety of reasons. Some are there with the sole purpose of Sissy, please don't too soon to distract me. You guys, everybody tend to move in the directions. I think I need to have a new recruit on this network here now. Because for everybody that come, the liberal have been successful to corrupt everybody's mind. So they keep this sort of distraction going. Okay, so we're going to be having an open mic conversation, but there are a few things that are also in mind. We're going to be looking at it. And of course, we always like to accommodate the views, opinions of our folks. Dennis, thank you so much. Call with me, Collie. I love that. Call with me, Collie. Thank you for being here. All right. Gabriel Anant Nimland, thank you for being here. Beatrice Nati, hopefully I called that last name right. Good to have you here. So we say good evening. We say welcome to all of our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am Alfonso Zien. So what we do here, there are other people who helping us to keep the wheel of this industry spinning to be here at all times. Good or bad, this guy, Uncle Musa, Uncle Musa's store, Uncle Musa is based in Philadelphia. A Liberian business guide with the African store, anything you want from Uncle Musa. If you want porter, you can get it. Snuff, anything you want. And our understanding, they are more consignment for the holidays. So just tell Uncle Musa, yeah, let's welcome my own sister, Antoinette Gallo. Madam Gallo, thank you. Thank you for your commitment to this network. We really appreciate you. To Richard, thank you so much. Teresa and all of you guys, thank you for always being here with us. Despite some of the tabata coming from out of the labor and it looks like he's carrying on massive recruit. So a recruitment now is based in Minnesota. He brought Cece Goyo, he brought D Flo, who else again from Minnesota? Terry, you know. So it's only more or less Amos George. He's the only guy, but Amos George too. He's not reliable. You can't lean on him. He's gonna throw you in deep sea. So I am here to fight my own battle. Thank you so much, and let's have a conversation here this evening. A lot is unfolding. Mr. Kanto, good to have you here. Aliyu Samba, good to have you here. These are all strong supporters of Ambassador Jose Nyoma Boykai. Yeah, everybody got to hang with the president. What are you talking about? You know, people talking, we advocating, we not one job. That different than one job. Please. Jana the coin, you won't go Freeport. I defy any of them who would be saying, yeah, they're doing it for the country. Let them send them to custom. Let them send them to be Inspector General or Commerce. And then I say, no, I was doing it for Alfonso. So please, I can talk for myself. Let's go to our man. Uncle Musa is one of our prime-time sponsors here. And for those of you who have businesses, yeah, we don't like to take free money. When we ask it, they don't give it. I don't know why. Are they get a water wasted on the number, or is it because we have not made public declarations who we support it or who we are supporting? We don't want to do that. Too much is ongoing. And we are not going to say anything to entice people because we want them to move in our direction. People make all sort of news of things that are saying. And that's the danger in our country, not just only in our country, all over the world now. The divisiveness is not just only with the politicians, it is with the surrogates, and these things being cheered up. And I think it's unfair. And making it very difficult to cut through the corridor. But let's go to Uncle Musa for the quick commercial, and we will be right back.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I'm a customer of Uncle Musa. I came here to get some things from grocery. Their things are so nice. They never get expired. They are the best quality. They have the best price ever anyone can get. They have so many things like cream, like meat, a lot of kind of meat. We have so many kind, and it's the best grocery store I've ever seen here in Wood. They are located at the 65th and Woodland. If you want, I really appreciate you guys to come over to come and patronize with us because they sell the best quality.
Uncle Musa's Groceries on Woodland Avenue, 6523 Woodland Avenue, Philadelphia, PA. Musa's store is composed of varieties of African food as well as Americans, but predominantly African food. You have dry fish, you have cassava, you have yams, you have plantains, bananas, and Musa even goes out of his way to pay people extra to cut the potato grains for customers to save them extra time. We have deeper, we have fufu, we have the refrigeration center, then we also have cosmetics. This is a place to come in Philadelphia. If you come to Philly, you don't reach the Uncle Musa's Groceries, you have not made your trip complete. Welcome, and we look forward to seeing you sponsoring our business. Thank you.
This is Uncle.
Okay, that's Uncle Musa store right there in Philadelphia, in the Habit Woodland. Go to Uncle Musa. Trust me, their new consignment just arrived from inside Liberia. If you want anything you want, you need that Liberia appetite. The toboki, the tobosoye, the soda, the walla, everything you think about. It got frog and all, dry frog. If you want to eat frog, trust me. Okay, guys, the analysts are here, and we're going to be having a conversation here this evening here. I seen this guy, Samson Tolibro here. He just all on his tabata. This is so annoying, but he has the back of Cecil Goyer from Minnesota. D. Flo now John the wagon. Terry there is the chauffeur. And my guy who is with me in time, Mala, is on vacation. So, like, I'm fighting my own battle. But notwithstanding, I'm going to hold up to this guy. Let me bring them so they can see that I'm talking behind the end. I'm going to have here. Let's go to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's call himself Warrior. A is a senior analyst of the Liberia Public Radio, formerly with Tiawan Gonglo, but he lives now on which avenue?
I was on Transitional Boulevard, but now on Sunshine Avenue Northeast.
The way you full of trouble. Is that how you don't behave to your student? So are you sanctioned now before you move to Sanction Avenue?
I won't be there. Welcoming people that come.
I beg you, please. We're on the last game. Okay. Let me go. Let me break in D Floor. I don't know which avenue he on. D Floor.
Yes.
Where are you?
FC audit.
Wow.
FC audit.
You guys are sweater. What? Yeah, unbelievable. You guys, you're something else. What? Yeah. Okay, gentlemen, good evening as usual. Thank you for your commitment to the community having this. This is not easy. Sometimes people, man, you can be exhausted, tired, coming from pushing your 15, 16. You scream, you yell, and then you come, you have to do that. But this is the commitment. And somebody say, oh, me, I doing anything. Yeah, I want work. You want work? Let them call me, me, I'll go. If they call you, you don't want it, let it fit me. I will wear that jacket for you. Okay, guys, I will say good evening. Welcome. We will try as much as possible to engage the audience. There are two big things. We're going to have an open mic conversation here this evening. But let me just out front to announce this: request denied.
Request denying so again already.
No, they deny my request. I said yesterday that I reached out to the president-elect folks, if it is possible for us to have a word. They say, my man, trouble you want. I don't know whether that's D-Flow to them or CC or some CC.
I don't know these people. D-Flow know these people. I can't all go in the second round. These people don't know me. Me and the Liberal on the same thing.
This is why I kind of find it very difficult. So what is your message? They not know you not know them, but yet still you're.
I know my uncle very well. He knows me very well. I know a lot of people in the party.
I reached out to the guy saying less than 20 words or 30 something because they use big word because of constraint. Yeah, I say, oh, because they're not put a whole gun. Okay, guys, we're gonna have a. So yes, no, that's not the end of the war. We understand people are busy. If they can make it now, of course, that's understandable. Our job is to reach out. If they can do it, fine. If they can't do it, so it's not something that we're gonna take personal. The only thing to regret here, like I said, day before yesterday, the appearance of the president-elect, it came at the wrong time when I had a major obligation to job related that there's no way that I can really treat around that schedule, which I was trying to get Mazola to be here, and because that's very, very much important, it's huge. But I don't know. But I talked to them. I'm willing to leave my stuff with them. There's nothing anybody can operate it because it's important that we see. And why? Fatimata, to good to have you. Mr. Boyer, to good to have you. But anyway, so there are two things here. You see, your call yourself advocate, but your own advocacy is laying one side. and I'm going to expose you here tonight. The CDC people are going to get mad with me internet some kind of way. Yeah. You see, you're the advocate. You have been very selective in your advocacy. Okay. When our man, how you call your man Porcupine, right? My Porcupine then what sanctioned Bakugbe Junior and Serena Seafors, the RCC lawyer. The government came out that they want to launch an investigation, right? And that's what the government said. Whether it was launched and it was concluded, that's a different thing. But at the end of the day, somehow they were let go. Some say they voluntarily to resign. How come this time around, the President of the Republic of Liberia, Jefferson Tambakoji, the Minister of Planning, Finance, Planning, and Economic Affairs, 3 or 2 in 1, Samuel Tuwe. Who's the next person again? Wow. Man, that's the first branch of government was barely hit. But Violet, I don't know, maybe I could be wrong. I have not heard any official statement with respect to the government of Liberia. And this is important, and I want us to talk it because the sanctions of Samuel Tuwe. Now, what happens if there's the government is still sitting, the government is still there operating, conducting the day-to-day affairs of the country. But with his present conditions, if I'm wrong, you can't do business with anything that has to do with like American dollar. They can't. So I don't understand why we are not hearing anything, why these people, the government is not calling for the same investigations they did to the other folks. So I've seen some sort of selective method here being deployed. That's my own Tabata. I'm going to start with here tonight. But let's go to you guys here. And of course, the big news tomorrow is the president-elect of the Republic of Liberia, Ambassador Joseph Newman Boyka. I'm wondering, and I've been talking to a lot of experts on the other side, some do not see this as to face the media because he's not the president yet. You still have the sitting president. There is a danger in that as well because when you expose yourself to media, there's no statute of limitation and to start to ask questions. And I kind of been wondering around it. However, Liberian people can go and see him, but when he kind of like bring people together, that's a different thing. I really, I try to tweet around my schedule, but it just can't permit me. I don't know who all going to be there. What are foreign media? Of course, I wouldn't be surprised when local media be there. And trust me, these people that know the history of your own country more than yourself. And they always in the tendency of putting people into an embarrassing. They don't care. People can look at your president as any kind of question. So, Ceci, you've been in this here, let's, in the interest of for the good of our country here, let's put aside, he's already president. He will be inaugurated in a couple of days here, but let's just let's look at the bigger picture, the holistic approach to this whole thing here. Do you think it was really necessary for the president-elect to have this sort of I appear will be a big engagement? We're hearing they're going to be moving to other. Is it necessary? Even though people out there want to be saying something, but for he to have like a conference, so will he be able to answer all of the questions in its totality if those questions comes about?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think though, if I were advising JND and the team, I think they have to. I keep saying this on this network. There is only one president of the Republic of Liberia. There is one commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia, and the head of the executive branch, and that's George Minor Weah. The president-elect has to be very careful not to overplay and make it look like they have dual presidency, but you also cannot underplay where it looks like he's acting in a Chuck Norris movie, missing in action, right? So it's a delicate balance. And this is where I'm hoping. You see, the mistake that happened with the CDC government is that citizens will complain and complain and complain and complain, and George Manawia, whatever advice he got, he will refuse to speak to the nation, and he will let it fester and fester and fester, and there's no engagement. And towards the end, they do like a recorded message and put it up, right? And so I think the CDC folks are the Unity Party folks are mindful of that. And that is the reason all of these questions, sometimes they're just buffoonery, but people say, oh, where's JND? One hospital to the next. He this way, he died. They changed his battery. The battery can't charge. They got to go to China for a solar cell, whatever the thing they say, right? And I think the Unity Party is being careful so that you don't overexpose the vice president, the president-elect, because there's so many things he doesn't have control of. And there's so many things he doesn't want to answer because he doesn't want to bias the system. For example, if you ask the president-elect right now, where does he stand on the sanctioned officials? Anything he says, if he says anything beyond, we're going to let the law take its course, anything beyond that will look like he's biasing the system. Remember when President Weah spoke about when the LACC came out and indicted the Minister of Agriculture? And he spoke about that, and that kind of like clipped the wings of that institution. And to date, the Ministry of Justice has not filed any charges because the president intervened, and it was an inappropriate intervention. And so I think the Unity Party is being mindful of that there will be some questions that come up, and those questions will be meant to see if the president-elect understands his boundaries. And so there has to be a lot of prepping going on. Joseph Boakai has not been president before in his lifetime. And so there are so many things that he doesn't know. And so I think if I were within the Unity Party, this is exactly what I would be doing, is we'll be keeping him away from the media as much as we can, but not way too long. And exposing him once in a while to answer some questions. But there are many things we need to know, like what guides you? What is the biggest picture here? The biggest picture here is that there is only one president right now in the Republic of Liberia, and that president is George Manawia. So if you ask me about legality, about the law, about justice for sanctioned officials, or for, say, the lady that got disgraced in real life market and was brutalized, if you ask those questions, we say we're calling on the government to have an investigation, because there's no one government. Unity Party cannot have an investigation right now. So for me, in the long of the short is, if I were advising the president-elect, this is exactly would be my game plan. This will be the exact playbook I will use. Now, on the issue of equity towards people that got sanctioned, when the porcupine got domesticated and put in the zoo, George Weah took actions, and when his own junior boy, the elephant, was also domesticated, he took actions. Why no action right now? I want to be fair to CDC government, though. They're in a lame duck state. Even in America here, when you're in a lame duck section where you're just waiting for 1 or 2 months before transition, it's really difficult for a lot of critical actions to be taken. So I can see why maybe they have not suspended.
Let me hold you there. Interruption is not good for Terry. Welcome. Yeah, this is the same lame duck section we saw. I think Assistant Minister of Commerce was also dismissed recently.
Well,
so it says on the lame duck is different from that of these guys. So it says sort of are other people exempted from facing the reality?
No, but you do understand that, and I want to be fair. Not everybody holds the same amount of power in the government. And if I were CDC, if I were George Manawia, absolutely, again, what he's doing will be what I would do. We will sit, we will watch, and just wait for this month to be over with. Because what does the CDC, what does George Manawia and his legacy stand to gain by dismissing Tamakoji right now? But Tamakoji holds a lot of popularity among the youth in the CDC. That would be looked as he kind of like just cutting the leg out of his party. So I understand that, for equity, we're asking that. But if I were in that position, and if I were a CDCian looking at how do I maintain the institution, the CDC, I would be doing exactly what they're doing. But as an outsider, of course, I am in your position when I'm saying, well, why aren't they being fair? And that is why I like what Malu did. What Malu not Malwa Malu, but the former auditor.
Let me bring in the town chief from Total, okay?
Yep. The former auditor wrote
John Molu.
that Samuel Tuer be removed from the joint transitional team, and I think that would be a good decision to be made, that he be removed from that team. And you're right. Right now, a lot of business people, a lot of investors will be holding on to their money. But even if Samuel Tuer had not been indicted or sanctioned, rather, I don't even think people will be making investment right now. They will want to wait.
Exactly. So that also, how many days more? The Liberal, Terry, good evening. Yeah, we still have a day. I know it's a lame dog section, but of course, government's still working. Government functionaries still going on. There's nothing goes on in our country without his Samuel Tuer been sitting, being at the head table with the Attorney General and all of that. Okay, guys, the conversation is about to get interesting. And this evening is Friday. I am fully prepared to go gutter with anybody who will try. When you're on your show, what?
And you said a labor recruiter out of Minnesota. I was listening to you.
Oh yeah. He recruited everybody after getting Minnesota politician from or transitional Boulevard now to Sanction Avenue, Defro Nakan, go Grattery. Okay, guys, let's have it. So Defro, let me just Liberal, good evening, welcome. So when they deny me that, I say yes. In a real time, in as much I wanted to sit with the president, I would feel proud. I would feel, and I know it will come. When they deny me, I say yes. I think this is a wise. In as much I wanted it, but folks that did that is a wise decision because right now you can't do that. There's one president at a time, and when I go there, you're not going to start me the question that I'm going to ask them. We are going in the throw question, and then you don't want the president elect to so Defro, let me just bring you in. Do you think it's a real good? Do you think it's a strategy for the president elect to face the crowd at this time?
Nice to see my brother from Zulu Town, Terry, the Liberal there too. Nice to see everyone again, and nice to our listener. Special one for Aliyu Samba, long time we have not talked. Aliyu, try to get in touch with me. Let's touch base. I want to say this in my opening statement. What I say here is D-Flow is not. I am not representing the president-elect, neither on the team to speak for the president. But what you hear from me is nothing but D-Flow. I'll be speaking for myself as usual. To your question, there's only one person who still has the authority to talk and speak for the country and travel for the country, and that person is paid to do that. That person is George Obon Weah. He's the president. He has 36 days to set the state of affairs of our country. Until then, President-elect Joseph Yuma Boakai will play a key role. In my position, I think he should play a key role when it comes to a lot of other things that people think that he should be doing. Let me give you an example. Some of you talk about press conference. I don't know whether His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai is going to be having a press conference tomorrow. I don't know about that. But if I could just advise the president-elect, it's something for him to just play low. Forget about press conference. Forget about talking to the Liberian media. Just focus on what you think you're supposed to be doing in Washington, D.C. But I want to bring this quick to your attention. Of course, the bigger thing is about to happen in Washington, D.C. The president-elect, I have not been given the authority to speak on this matter, but I'm going to touch it a little bit and I'll give you a lot of details. The president-elect will be having a busy week in Washington, D.C. this week. Of course, that will take him to Washington, D.C., the Treasury Department, the UN mission to the UN, the MCC, IMF, Corporate Council on Africa, a whole lot of places the president-elect will be touching this week to tell the Liberian people that while I'm waiting to take them to be put in a position of authority to steady the affairs of the state, I'm working behind the scene. But that's all I can speak to you for now. And then you talk about Sanction FC. I'm one of the members of the Play on the Sanction FC. I'm one of those that want audit. I'm all about audit. I'm about audit. Audit is very vital. It's important. It's essential. It's everything that you can speak up in bringing this country back to where it came from. This country, the people have to be audited. We have to have these people. They have to pay. They have to tell us how they got rich overnight. I would like to know. I really want to know how Percy Yakem. I want to know how Samara would have got it. I would like to know how Zambia to and the rest of them. Where did they get the money from? Because I would like to go there. If money is somewhere that you can go pick, right? You can just go on the streets and then pick it up. I would like for them to show me that avenue, so I can go and pick mine, and of course, and get rich overnight. But of course, I'm not a corrupt person. I hate corruption. I will leave it like that for now.
Okay. We're going to keep it succinct so that we can have enough time and hopefully to accommodate our audience as usual. This is not a laborer who is selective in picking phone calls and making intimidating callers and all of that. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm going to do. So, yeah, I know Terry is feeling uncomfortable now because I'm talking to a patron. Terry, let me just bring you in here. Yeah, this guy.
So me and the labor don't talk.
Don't talk to me. I'm telling you.
We don't talk behind the scene unless we meet on live here.
Oh yeah. Why you gonna say stuff behind the scene?
Well, you get a habit. We get a habit of sending me secret text message. I can't wait to do it on myself.
Somebody shared
a WhatsApp message with me. Facebook request, Terry, but I couldn't find you on Facebook. Do you have a different account?
Yeah, I'm missing in action.
Oh,
no, labor call me uncover sedition.
I'm
still thinking about it. I don't know. Maybe I may switch to CDC. I don't know because labor call me uncover sedition.
I told you don't listen. This guy.
So we're saying the people messages. The two of them, the WhatsApp messages got leaked. Henry Costa leaked it, so I will share them with you.
But I
me and labor.
Yeah.
Labor still my party, you know. I get it back any kind of way, I will still get it back. So
he made a position clear. He said he's unbalanced, he's unstable. So anything you expect, anything out of level. But Terry, fair to mention here, the organizers, they are friends of GMB, the New England chapter. Well, we don't know whether there will be a sort of interpersonal something, because when you say something, people will obviously raise their finger, and people are going to be asking questions. You don't want to censor people. What kind of question you're going to ask? You don't know who even going to ask the questions, and so there's a danger in all of that here. So I'm trying to process it here. Whether it was I don't know, but what could be the fallout of it, Terry? Especially we don't know, especially when it involves questions and answer period. Not that he can't answer questions, but he wants to walk a fine line, not to be speaking as the sitting president, and journalists, and you never know who are going to be. They get a tendency of pushing. They will agree with you, and then they will kind of reconstruct the questions and come right back to A and all of that, especially when these foreign media, I don't know who are going to be there tomorrow. We have no idea. Details of that is not being released. But what do you think?
But how do you know that the president-elect will be having a press conference tomorrow?
No, that's what I'm making it clear. I said there's a meeting. There's a major meeting in Rhode Island tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow is Saturday, right?
I thought that's just an event.
Well, event, you never know. So, but I actually reached out to the organizer to come and give us an insight. So, who is going to be doing the talking? Is that the partisan to congratulate him? And even if they congratulate him, there will be a response. And
obviously, Mr. So I think in my mind that Ambassador Burger is well organized to address any question. I don't think he is going to be. He's a man who want to refute, journalists from asking him questions. I really believe and think that Ambassador Burger is the person who like to interact with people, and he like to ask. He like to receive questions. But if anybody, even like you said, that is, they deny you.
So why?
I don't think
something to call him, man. Johnny, wait, is that what it's Johnny? He called them. They told me, say, when the liberal call and that we should not grant you.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm saying it publicly.
But to be honest with you, I don't think, because I think if they deny you, it must not come from that paper. That paper will want to interact. But
this man here is influence. He poisoned the water. He poisoned that water. You know, he gave folks then that can always poison water. He did that.
Yeah, but tomorrow I think it's going to be good, and I think he's going to entertain questions. And I want to believe that you like the only question that I think that many people want to ask him that people think is going to choke him would be, "Are you sick?" or something like that. And obviously, the way he answered the question most of the time is, "Look at me. Do I look sick?" You know, he's very wise. He will be smiling with it. Why are you thinking that is the biggest question you want to ask him to entrap him? He will be smiling with you and asking you back, "Do I look like somebody who is sick?" So, you know, I think Walker is well organized. This man went to Spoon Talk, right? When Spoon Talk had all the panelists that was of contra reviews, and he sat there and they asked him all kind of questions to that extent. Kev Hassan triggered the old man to a higher extent. And the papa looked at him and told him, say, "Okay, I wronged you, sorry." This is the kind of demeanor Ambassador Burger had. You bring him on the show now, he will sit down here for 1 hour, 30 minutes. You will throw him all the bombshell questions you got, and he will dish out it and answer it properly and give it back to you to that extent you will not be able to wrapping around anything. So I think that he's not a kind of person who, he have that wisdom, all right? I don't think he's going to shy away from anything. But my concern really have to do with these people who running ahead of the JPTT team and trying to present the transitional team as
Somebody got something. Oh, I hearing some.
I think that D-Flow, I think he need to defend or something. I must say,
yes, because something. I'm using the phone. I don't have my computer. If I don't turn it on, it's going to go off. It's an iPhone. So if I don't use the fan in the back to cool it off, it goes up very quickly. Is it embarrassing to you guys? Because I don't want it to go off. I'm not used to it. I'm not in the studio room. I'm in the living room.
I think before you can do if you can mute it when you're not talking.
Yeah, then probably.
Okay, I'll mute myself. Okay.
Okay, good. Then that much better. Okay. So when I call you, then you just unmute and we can deal with that. Since you're living on Sanction Avenue, you won't be doing sanction thing.
Yeah, so the transitional team, people are saying that the transitional team is not working. Ambassador Burka transitional team is not working. So I'm thinking like, what are you talking about? Because the JPTT is not Ambassador Burka's transitional team. This is the president of Liberia transitional team. And Ambassador Burka has his own people on this team that the president organized. This team, the JPP is the president team. You know, so the people can only ask the president or the people that he got in on the team, what can we do? You know, they said to us that they wrote letter, Ambassador Burka wrote a letter to the president, and that letter have not even been opened yet. Or Kemoya is saying that he have to present a letter and he will make sure that the letter is presented. The people also gave a letter to under the court or some kind of letter of cluster or something like that. They gave that letter to the transitional team of President Weah, and that letter will inform them the transitional team of President Weah, which are being selected, are willing to open up the government for them to see what they already have. That was the letter that the transitional team wrote to them. So we're going to now begin to see how long these people from the government, that President Weah transitional team, is going to take to get back to Ambassador Burka transitional team into opening up the government for them to really see what's going on. So once that is not done, they don't have access to do anything. So I see a lot of people running on Facebook all over the place that Ambassador Burka transitional team is not working. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. What do you know that they're supposed to do? You know, what do you really know about the transitional team and the process? You don't know anything. Then you jumping all over the place. So yeah, I think that is not fair enough to the to the Ambassador Boycott transitional team that are part of the JPTT. You know, I don't think it's fair enough.
The war is not fair. So you guys, you just have to deal with this thing. These sort of distractions will always be there. Don't put yourself in the shoe of the liberal who is kind of the liberal. Let me just bring you in here. Let me tap into your expectations in terms of um, what's going to be happening here tomorrow, and how is it been viewed? Have you talked to anybody here? Rhode Island, that's your old area here. You know what happens. Some good things, some bad things happen here. I'm not going to say them here now. I want to be nice. I don't want to say those bad things, because if I want to say things, I want to say the bad ones. So if you give me the go ahead, I will do it. But I don't think you even want to go there. But on a serious note here, what are you watching out for? What are you looking up? What is a conference? What is an interpersonal meeting with the citizens, Liberians, ordinary people? What are you looking up for tomorrow?
Thank you, Mr. So. Good evening, D-Flow, Cece, and Terry. Good evening to all of you. It's going to be a wonderful show here as far as I'm concerned. Look, Mr. So, as somebody said the last time, Ambassador Bakai is a grown-up. The reason why George Weah and the people were defeated, according to the president, because they were juveniles that was given political power, and they refused to grow up. For 6 years, they stuck into their campaign mode. They never got out of that. As a result of that, a lot of things went out that they were not paying attention to. And in fact, Samuel told us in his letter, he said, we were not paying attention when people were going to Washington, D.C. saying all kind of bad thing about us, but we didn't pay it because they were juvenile.
Why he said those things? I don't get it.
Mr. So, I just told you, you give power to juveniles. According to this person, you give power to juveniles. This is what you get. Why would Samuel come out and make these kinds of ridiculous things? But that's besides the point. What I believe most likely going to happen tomorrow with Ambassador Bakai, he's just going to be himself. First of all, I believe he's going to express his gratefulness to the Liberian community overall. As far as getting involved into Liberian politics, I don't think he's going to touch that. Mr. So, there's a news that going around on print media that says Ambassador Bakai is already asking this sitting government that he want a modest inaugural program. You don't want no program to be held in Anthony, what's the name? Samuel Kedo, nobody can enter. You bring all the sovereignty all over the world, kind of 10 years. He said you don't want that. Most likely, if you take it to Ambassador Bakai, you say you're not taking it to the village and let's do our ceremony. We'll come back tomorrow and run the government. We won't got money. This is how smart man is. He's not one of those young people who think he's gonna run with this thing here. So I think tomorrow program is gonna be unique. If Ambassador Bakai wants to really talk, he's gonna re-emphasize about unity, about working together to rebuild our country. And that team has always been, in fact, you yourself told us that the people in Rhode Island say, if you're coming with a green beret, there's no place here for you. So it's based on the fact that Ambassador Bakai most likely have a conversation with these people. I don't want no nyama thing all around here. We're coming in as Liberia, and that's it. Mr. So, please, let's talk about what are some of the policy expectations. Get off this nyama thing here. What the mayor will say, what the mayor will not say. Leave it alone. In fact, that's not your business.
You don't?
Yeah.
So you happy they deny me, eh?
If I have not talked to Sir Johnny since Louis Shoro died. That would be about 2 years and a half ago, because we're all friends. And when I went for the funeral, of course, I met with Sir Johnny, of course. Since then, I have not talked to him. But the point here is, I'm glad that they turned you down. I'm very happy about that.
Why?
No, that's not a good thing.
Because that's not your business. It meant take office. If you become president, then you can bring your LPR journalist based on vacation. You're on vacation. Leave it alone. Let our power rest. Yeah, man.
You know, the society is so big that you can get all kinds of people in there. And without the liberal enter to, then the society is incomplete. So it's understandable. Okay,
That's right.
good.
That's okay.
So, but liberal,
okay.
yeah, I'm saying we were talking about the Bakuba Junior, the other folks, the president, the governor of Liberia came out to say they were going to investigate. We don't know whether that investigation took place, the outcome, but eventually these people to resign. So why is the government not coming out to do the same thing with the Koji and Tuena?
Well, I think somebody explained that to you already. President Weah is quite aware that he's going to get out. So sanctioning these people and telling them to resign or what have you, what you do to him? You will fire him? They already fire him. What do you do to him? Nothing. Let people stay around. Let them say that. The next government going to come in, hopefully, that they will have some cooperation from the U.S. government. In fact, Senator Boga from New Jersey, Senator Van Hallen from Maryland, and Senator from Delaware, Christopher, I think I'm forgetting the last name.
Chris Coon?
No, not Chris Coon. The other one, George Biden protege, George Biden's son.
Yeah, that Senator Coon.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. They are congratulating Ambassador Bakai. They say our part, thank you for rescuing they call Liberia their country. They said, thank you for rescuing our country from the juveniles. They call themselves government. They come here to rock all the time, tabata. For 6 years. They come here, the first thing they come, they try to be friends with our other guy from North Carolina, the former state representative from North Carolina, a worker. Then on top of all of that, Joe Biden president, then you want to employ Lady G, that will be Nancy Grant, to be your spokesperson. Not only that, then you want your tech crew. Not only that, then you start going then that one you want Joe Biden to talk to you, we block them. That's what they're suffering for.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so Cecily, let's take behind the scene. I know the JPP, what about the transitional thing? Beyond the transitional thing, my guess is also at by year working in terms of the structuring of the government. People are going to, those sort of information, they are classified, they're going to keep it tight. Only a few people are going to be privileged to those sort of conversation. Let us turn right afterward. January, what's the date again? 21st, right?
22nd.
22nd, right after January 22nd, after 12 a.m. What could possibly happen?
12 p.m.
12 noon.
12 p.m.
12 p.m. After the, what could possibly happen?
My papa is sleepy.
The next time I'm running for LeBron organization, remind me to make something to my spokesman. But I can't do. But so I can lose that election massively.
Oh yeah.
If I make it, burn down every bush. But on a serious note, what I foresee is a few executive orders coming from the office of the president immediately following the January 22nd at noon after the entire program. And I think there's going to be, because they're going to have to be executive orders to put in place certain things that you don't have the time right now to go to a legislature to enact. So there's going to be quite a few executive orders, and I think quite a few of them will have to deal with asset forfeiture and the same thing George we are trying to do with Serena Seafirst and the astute and the most eloquent and smartest lawyer, Dr. Tamar Johnson, Arthur Tamar Johnson. So you get all the degree. When they try to do that asset forfeiture where they were supposed to be collecting all of the government properties, and somehow they fell apart and they didn't collect them. I can see that coming back, but with renewed vigor, with trying to collect government assets and properties that have not been turned over. And then, so I do foresee a lot of executive action, executive orders coming through to try to get some work done in the immediate time. Because if you allow for a very long time, our borders are porous. A lot of people could leave and they could flee from justice. So there will be a lot of it. I'm expecting some executive orders, just to call it short. There will be some executive orders coming from the office of the president.
Okay. D-Flow?
Thanks for that question again.
Talk about
Mr. Weah in 36 days. I don't know what will be the importance of Mr. Weah trying to ask Jefferson to leave the city that is already dirty, that he didn't clean up for 6 years. What's the point of that? Let Jefferson just stay over there for the rest of the 36 days. And then after that, we can take it from that point. There's absolutely no reason for Mr. Weah to even ask anybody to fire anybody from his government. It's too late. It's over. So what's the point? He had 6 years. We beat Mr. Weah in the CDC on December 8, 2020. He lost all of the Senate seats. But yet instead he sat there and said, they made him to believe that this was not about you. This election was about those that were on the ballots. So don't worry about you going to reshuffle your government. So what's the point of Mr. Weah trying to reshuffle? To even think about Jefferson to leave the stage. Jefferson should stay there, collect his paycheck as usual, and just run around and have press conferences and under the sycamore tree. But then when you talk about the president-elect about executive order, again, I speak for myself. If I was in a position to advise the president, I would say maybe just tell them that nobody should leave the country. And for now, everybody should just tell them what their passports. If former government officials should tell them what their passports and just stay here for us to see what's going on here too. All of us can stay here and build our country, right? We all should remain here and build a country. So no need for you to travel. If you are sick, you need to get special permission from us. And then we'll take it from there because most of them are leaving or will be leaving the country. As I heard today that Samuel Twe purchased tickets for his children for them to leave the country. If that is true, those are the things that's of course you have to take a first stretch on to make sure that nobody leaves the country, so we all can stay there and enjoy the country. That's the one I think that I will recommend.
Talking about that, accountability and transparency and putting some regulations in place with the executive order and stuff you're going to be, do you think you're going to go that extensive with the financial institutions for some sort of financial policies, regulation, considering the sanctions and other things that are happening now to see the flow of money from different institutions, be it locally or externally?
I absolutely believe that he will hit that on the head right off on day one or the first week or 2 weeks, maybe the first month, to make sure that those things that those guys did as the Liberal to continue to take my word, the juvenile group of boys that came to power to run the state, they did not graduate from being an opposition to a ruling establishment, for them to force to know what they did to the country, because that's a whole lot of guys did to Liberia. And some of us know some of those things. They did a whole lot to the country. And trust me, if they go deep into it, I can assure you, Liberians will see what governance is. When you really audit this government and tell whole people, check on them to make sure, how did you get this? You make 5,000 in Abuno. How you build mansions in less than 6 months? Tell us which bank did you go to? Let's see where myself are looking for a loan to open my business in Liberia, because the American dream for me is almost over. I'm looking for the African dream now, because every time a man we all came in this world for a couple of reasons, right? My dream to come to America is almost winding down. It's the next dream that I have to take on, the African dream, where I want to invest, have my own business or businesses in Liberia for ordinary people to see what it means when you leave, you travel outside your country. Some of us came here, we call this place a village. Well, it's a farmland to me. I came here to hustle, so I'm supposed to return now to the real place for me to invest in the country. So we would like to see what you guys did to the country. So for me, I wouldn't be surprised if President-elect Joseph Dima Boakai can come with a hammer and begin to hit it on the head.
Okay, the liberal.
Yeah.
We think about to tighten some grips within the financial sector, making sure that there's some sort of tough regulations in place, because considering what is happening right now.
Well, I'm not too sure if this government, there's nothing. This is how do you call it? Laying dog government. What exactly can it do? Nothing. But I want to go a little bit on the other side.
I think he's Liberal. I think he's talking about President Eli when he takes power.
I'm talking about the president. I'm talking about Ambassador Boyka when he is seated as the president.
Well, again, I hope that he will be guided by sets of committees, Liberians looking into these things. I think if he comes out and make decisions strictly based on what he have in mind as an individual, then I think we're going to have a problem. But if he set up the committee, different sets of committee to look at this thing, recommend, and that's what the advisors are supposed to do anyway. So I think they will look into that. But I want to go on the other side of this sanction issue. We've been talking about auditing and everything, which is a perfect thing. But those who are being targeted by these sanctions and what have you, whatever little money they had, if this incoming government really want to make their life miserable, they can go to court, start an investigation. And these people are going to have to hire lawyers, and they will pay lawyers. And if the government really want to squeeze it, because the fact they have lawyers, they can drag their case on, and the lawyer will be expecting to get paid all the time. How long can they keep it up? You're not going to go hire something to as a lawyer.
If you don't have a lawyer, the state can provide you a lawyer. The state is
but they like Samuel Twe and McGill, they will not want a state lawyer. They want to have their own lawyer.
But they will also have to prove that they can't afford a lawyer. They have to file financial clearance that they can't afford, and they have money.
Exactly. And which they're going to be turned down anyway. So so I'm saying they have to be very careful. This is no longer in the hand of the American. The American can supply the information. But if this government really want to be a pain, and you know what? They can be really, really in a big mess. And yes, there's another interesting thing here. Also in the news today, the sitting government, government LACC is reporting that majority of the government officials that are leaving are now declaring assets. So those type of things, it's not good. Alfonso, Mr. So, sorry about that. Mr. So, we better tighten our belt. We in this, as Citizen correctly stated here the last time, citizen journalism, we will truly enjoy ourselves because the fun is yet to come.
Terry.
Yes, sir.
Are you expecting that same fund in line with the Liberal?
Well, no, I'm not expecting that fund. I think these guys they have too much money, and trying to carry them through a court proceeding that is not upgraded will create a problem in the country. Because you must also understand that CDC is divided. I mean, that CDC have a huge political base. These few days, when Jefferson Koji was sanctioned, you saw what happened. People put him up in the street and all the kind of thing. These guys have sat over the wealth of the country for 6 years. You must understand that. They got a lot of money to influence anybody in the country. Liberia is a country that anybody can, when you give somebody money, they can do something crazy in the street and get away with it. Take, for example, a man just running through people and knocking people down while they're jubilating. All right. So I think this is not a bad thing to do, but in order to effectively accomplish it, Ambassador Boyka will have to upgrade the court. I don't know if we have.
When you say upgrade, what do you mean?
International support.
Judges,
you need to invoke international support. You need to invoke international support. You need to beef up security.
Are they concerned because most of these judges, they are all appointees. Like we all were here when they are issued, they are Trump Supreme Court nominee appointees and this and that. So, because at the end of the day, whether it comes from the lower court, the final arbiter will be the Supreme Court. Will people still have the apprehension if they went to Supreme Court? And these people, more or less, were also appointed by President Weah, the CDC-led government. Will people trust the system? Whatever comes out of that?
That's what I'm saying. Will people trust the system? So obviously, you know what people can do. They will jump in the street and try to protest that, Ambassador Boyka government is witch hunting their people. And they will make it look like it's political, like it's a witch hunt. So I don't think this is what Ambassador Boyka will want to do firsthand when he take over. I don't think that is what he will want to do. I would think that the first thing he will want to do is to tackle, to start auditing. I think that is what he will want to. I think that is what he may try to approach in that manner. And then while in the process of that, he can advocate for international involvement because you're dealing with sanction. Have we ever had any type of sanction of investigation in Liberia before? Have we gone through this process? We need to understand how is it done. We need to understand even whether do we have lawyers that will be able to adequately handle these things that that will gain result out of it, without it affecting the society or plunging our country into another chaos. You must understand that we do not have international security backing us now. President, we have ran a country in the past 6 years successfully without any help internationally. Under Ellen government, you could do the kind of thing because you had the unmail and all of that. But under Ambassador Boyka government right now, there are too much. The cloud, the atmosphere is not clear. People are disenchanted over the whole electoral process and all of that. So if you sit over the country and just start going after these guys, I think that the people, the followers, will think that you're trying to witch hunt them. So in my opinion, the best way you can do these things is to firstly involve international community. Actually, like what happened during the map-up exercises, what Samuel Toy did when our 16 billion got missing, and they called in international people to probe into what was going on. And these people came in and decided to investigate that, lay many things to rest, and situation came under control. So Liberians, they respect international people. Once we start seeing international community coming in, there will be a little bit calm. And we start seeing international lawyers, people coming to beef up our own lawyer, giving us idea as to how to proceed. I think that will help us greatly. But to just say, okay, let's start doing this thing on our own and we can further all of that, those buggers have the potential to put over maybe 5,000 people in the street. And what are you going to do? You're going to use hot water on them? You're going to flash hot water on them like what CDC government did? So I think Ambassador Boyka need to engage his 100 days very carefully. And his 100 days should be engaged on the foundation of things that he said he was going to do, than to get distracted. I also believe that he need to go on the offenses. And the best way you can go on the offenses with this government is to engage into auditing and all of that, to put the opposition on the weaker side. You got to go against them, just engage rules, start to do things that you said you would do in your 100 days, and engage it effectively, opening the country up, creating some level of playing field and bringing calm, so that the people can feel that, oh yeah, the ambassador, the president-elect is ready, trying to reconcile the country. Then you can go after what you want to go after when people's minds are a bit calm. But right now there is too much tension.
So, Sissy, this thing here is not easy as an ordinary person thinks it is or it should be, because yesterday, now the Unity Party was in the opposition and all of that. Now they want to be in the governing stage. They gotta be careful. Uh, Whatever happens, it falls on them. Uh, People, oh, it's just starting so soon. So it's a volatile one. How would they go about to approach these things? Because you have the perceptions of the people out there to who with this high expectation. I don't care. You bring and start taking people blood pressure. We want you to calm down. Some people who will just naturally it will still be going up because they need immediate result. And this is where the government has to walk a fine line. You have the other folks on the other side now, from governing to opposition. We want to do anything possible to get under the scheme because people always like to. I don't care what kind of government. People always like to demonize government, and you don't want us to be so early to get out there within the public domain. To say, oh, this is how the people want to be. So how are these things? How would they go about to handle all of these things?
So let me disagree with my own little brother a little bit, because one of the reasons that some of us are not going to be taking jobs in this government is so that we are here to hold them accountable. If the Unity Party government make a mistake and follow the advice of Terry, I will be the number one person on this platform, and I will hold their feet to the fire, and we will organize protests. We'll go to the White House. We'll hold them accountable. It was the same fear that George Weah had, that he didn't audit the Eden government because they did not want the much thing. And George Weah said, we're all family, and we can't hold people accountable. And today we said that George Weah should have audited the government. Every time they say Ellen Stu, we say, why he didn't audit? Look, you cannot talk about audit and say it will look like you're going after wish on. If you're still going to audit these people, post this is a wish on. Look, for a lack of a better
speaking of the sanction.
For a lack of a better, it doesn't matter. The law is the law. Okay. The law is the law. Since when have we been afraid? Look, here's the problem, and this is what we in the Gonglo movement, that's what the Gonglo and the LPP told Josiah Yemabwaka and his group. There cannot be certain people that live above the law and other people live below the law. Look, we're here talking about Joseph, about my Uncle Tama putting people in the street. Let's look at this thing analytically. When the elephant was taken from the wild and put in the zoo, when the porcupine was taken from the wild and domesticated, you saw how many people came out to speak for these people. You saw the level, the powerful people that came out to speak for them. How many powerful people in the CDC have come out to speak for Joseph Damakoji? He grabbed a bunch of hungry people and put in the street. Damakoji has been, for the lack of a better word, he has been spayed. He has been spayed. That man just talking that hot air. We will not allow for a government to come in power that we say we got different set of justice system for different set of people because we're afraid of them. I will quote one of our renowned criminals in Liberia. The law is the law. The law is the law. Look, when you speak about the lack of lawyers in Liberia, maybe we can speak about maybe there is a watering of the quality of lawyers, because I've seen some lawyers argue on the internet, and I can scratch my head and say, you can't really defend me in traffic court. But I still do know that there are very smart lawyers in Liberia. Councillor Tewan Gonglo, as Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia under Ellie Johnson Sirleaf, made some fundamental changes wherein we had, for the first time in Liberia, county attorneys had to be graduates of Louis Arthur Grant School of Law. We still have those people in Liberia. We still have those people in Liberia. We have the structure in Liberia to have an independent judiciary that can carry out an independent investigation and allow people to have their fair day in court. What usually happens is the executive government interfere with the work of the judiciary, thereby making the judiciary biased. If you think, for example, most recently, who thought that people would subpoena Koji to go and testify in the case of Gloria Mususka? And one judge rejected that subpoena, and they went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court in Liberia is supposed to say Koji must appear. That because the people know the man got no more power to leave in office. Allow these people to leave office, and you see the independence of the judiciary. For me, it's going to depend on who President-elect Joseph Boakai puts at the Justice Ministry, as Justice Minister, as Solicitor General, and at LACC. For me, that is going to tell me how serious Joseph Boakai is. But you're come to power, your Unity Party people, and you start talking about how you're scared to vote people in the street. I will be the first person at the White House protesting against Joseph Boakai and his group. They will start a sanction behind you, and that is a guarantee.
So your former guy, former in a sense, you were contesting, Councillor Tiawanse Gongrot. I came up publicly, I believe you saw that press statement congratulating, in fact, extending his appreciation to the United States government in as much as it was led, but he said this. So, Leroy, let's see here. Sister differ with that of Terry Point, and I'm not sure whether you are too far from Terry. Let's do a cutting edge here now. Now, all along, when we come to the law enforcement, we're talking about the Minister of Justice, the police commissioner. Seeing from what we're seeing on the surface, the surroundings of the ambassador, President-elect Joseph Newman Boakai. Maybe I'll have to come back to Sisi, but let me just get your pick and then D-Flow and then go back. So who do you think they're going to go out there? Who will say, look, the law is the law. We cannot circumvent the law. We cannot be selective of the law. We cannot say, well, this other law is applicable to Samson Toe, the liberal, but this one here, we can't get it on D-Flow or Terry.
Well, thank you, Mr. So I think that particular conversation most likely is already been held at the round table of Ambassador Boakai. What do? There are some smart Liberians among us, serious, smart Liberians. And I want to believe that Ambassador, maybe Sisi might not agree with me because of the past experience of Ambassador Boakai and the travel situation where they were not able to safeguard all of the information. But I want to truly believe, that there are some smart Liberians who are in the inner circle of Ambassador Boakai. And I think they are now all in it for themselves. And I also want to believe that while Terry Point is a little bit on top, on our cover sedition idea, but let me just say this. No, the very is way above. But that's that.
On a cover title, move from me now.
I tell you, my baby.
The way forget about 2019, 2029, he carrying you with 18 years. Forget it.
But it has a legitimacy in that we're seeing how ruthless these people are. But Sisi also came back and knocked that out of the park, because if Ambassador Boakai, who I believe this old man can throw some real dirty undercut. We saw the conversation with him and Costa here, where he referred to President Weah, say you're president, but you're not the other women in Liberia, not all your women. That's a deadly undercut. And this man has that ability. And I'm sure he will bring some people on board that will tell these young people, the juveniles, say, look, grown up is running this country now. Why I am your president, I will not allow you to try to dictate to me how this process is supposed to be. And we will be tough when it comes to law enforcement. I think if Ambassador Boakai comes from that perspective and comes in such a way, I think he will be successful. So, but the idea of to say a law is the law, if he appoint the like of Councillor Gonglo, a law is the law. There's no color in law. That would be a very interesting. Like I said, Mr. So, let's sit tighten our belt. The interesting thing in Liberia and the fun just began. Well, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
D-Flow.
I agree with almost the three gentlemen. I agree with Sazy and Tove, but a little bit not on the side of my brother Terry Collins there, because you know, when you go to campaign, you promise people to do certain things, and these things, especially when it comes to audit, is deterrence. It tells exactly those that you'll be appointing in government, what type of government, what is expected of them, what the Liberian people expect of them after they leave power, what will happen to them. So when you speak about giving CDs, and look, there will always be opposition in life. Even in your own household, there's somebody among your family that just doesn't like you because maybe you are doing well and that person is not doing well, or the thing that you think you understand something that they don't understand. There will always be opposition in life. So to think that because the fear of citizens taking the streets of Morovia to say, hey, why auditing us now? Why you didn't audit Ellen? Well, that conversation can be said right back to them. You had a chance to audit Ellen 12 years ago, 6 years ago. So you don't dictate to us, you don't dictate to me. I run my government. This is my government. If I'm doing something wrong, then of course it's okay. But here we're talking about an audit. The United States has interest in audit. This was confirmed by just what you said. The three lawmakers in Washington, D.C., they said we want audit. This is the key problem. This is deterrence. This is
audit. Quickly here, guys. This audit we'll be talking about here. What is the timeline? What is the cutoff period with it? What are you ordering? Are we looking at previous governments, and which governments are we talking about, or are we just being a little bit restrictive here and looking at the CDC-led government?
For me, it's up to the president-elect because he was set the tone of the.
I'm asking a legitimate question. So what?
Yeah, but for me, I would like to say I want to see what happened to what happened on Ellen as well, though. I would like to see that. But in the forefront, I'm more focused on the CDC.
Oh, the conversation.
The CDC is a government that there's a reason why they refuse to audit Ellen. And for them, there are tangibles that we can point to in Liberia that Mr. Weah did not have. Samia Tua did not have. Finabono, Percy Yake, and the rest of them did not have. It says yes, but today we can point to those tangibles, we can point to those materials. But with Ellen, it is that they say that she has share in Farmington Hotel. She has this and this. But those are not things that we can point to. But I also want to say to this. When it comes to auditing the government, we should not leave this thing. I hope the president-elect will not leave it up to our local auditors. If you bring in international forensic audit, look, America can do a lot of help for the new government to bring in audits. But they audit the entire system. That thing can go back as 2006, all the way to 2023. They can figure it out, because remember this: America is already auditing us. It's already auditing CDC, right? All of these sanctions that they are putting out, that's part of audit. They are auditing them, that they have records of these things. They can go back and say, hey, here they are. You just wrap it up and take it. So I would like to see an audit in place. I don't want anybody to think, because there's one thing, since I say, I want to remind you. In Liberia, you don't want to be fooled by the souls of traditional leaders. That's how they fool Mr. Weah. That we are all the same. I don't agree with that. Being the same doesn't mean that I will agree for Cesar Guerra, because Cesar Guerra and I grew up in Zelawu, or I grew up in their hometown. So if Cesar does something wrong, we are the same. And because of that, I should have my social capital with the people of Zelawu town. I shouldn't go after somebody in Zelawu town. That's absolutely wrong. It is wrong for anybody to think that because we are all people of Liberian descent, so when one man commits a crime, that person should just have the freeway. It is wrong. So I would like to see a forensic audit, done by local, backed by the international community.
Let's welcome legendary Amos George. George, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, so Cece, Dayflow, Collins, and Sanson.
Why are you calling my new lads?
Good evening to you.
But you are the most senior. So
now let me be the first there.
You see there? That they kind of part, that they kind of
The
part,
liberal.
that they kind of part when the ref finish the whole year, when they finish in there, they say, you don't worry, everything will be okay. The part
Yeah.
and the part can't wait, he will eat and the drink say, I got a best strong.
You got camera in my house. That's all what happened today.
I got to put a picture up. My children sent me the picture.
What a good
barbecue.
good Wabusha.
No, that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. I'm going to push on the goat.
They can't eat pepper, so they stay away from our goat soup.
But so what they got to put plenty of pepper in the soup so they drink, so they can't eat it.
So Mr. So on the issue of the sanctions and how far it goes, I think one of the things we have to be mindful of is the laws in Liberia. What is the statute of limitation? Would the statute of limitation allow us to go back 18 years? Then absolutely, the 12 years of Madame Sirleaf and the 6 years of George Weah. If it allows us to go back to 21 years, then we'll go all the way back to the late Moses Blah.
But let me ask you this. I don't mean to interrupt.
View of the president, people who calling for it to determine which.
If the auditing process, audit President Weah, which would tell President Weah to say this is the amount of money that we got from the previous government, would that not then lead this auditing process to go through, or they would just stop there?
But here's the thing, and that is why I want us to understand. That's why I talk about the statute of limitation first, because it's not like there are not audit reports that were done during the Ellen time. John Mulloon said there's some auditing. There are reports. There are so many reports out there. So you could do a holistic forensic audit and not take any legal action because of the statute of limitation. If there are laws on the book that say you can't be charged for theft of property from the state after a crime has been committed 6 years later, then you're not going to go back 12 years ago and charge somebody. But you can still release a report and say, here are where we saw gaps, here where we saw misuse of public funds, but you can't charge them because of the statute of limitations. So we got to be mindful of the law, right? But for me, though, we keep talking about audit as if it's something that we're going to start from day one. When this government take over, there are a few things they already have. The LSCC has conducted a lot of investigation. There are completed investigations that were forwarded to the Justice Ministry that have not been prosecuted. There are ongoing investigations that they will take over and try to complete and initiate investigation based on all of the information we get from the American government. Because D-Flow is right, that the U.S. government, that's what I keep saying, the U.S. government is forcing the hand of the Joseph Juma Boakai administration in the way they want them to go as far as financial transparency and accountability. So these information are going to be there. So you just got to get them and begin the investigation. At the Justice Ministry, there are investigations that are ongoing that were started and some that needs to be started. So this is not something that people are going to just pick and go and say, oh, let's start from scratch. Samuel Tua Council and tell how the money went. You have the full report, right? You have the report from the LSCC that indicted the Minister of Agriculture. Those reports are still there. So it's not like the government is blaming everything and moving away. We come in to just start from scratch. These information are there. What I would want, what if I get my way, and which I don't think I'm going to get my way, is there has to be a holistic accounting for the stewardship of our resources for the last 18 years. And then we have to charge people based on the law. If the statute of limitations prevent us from charging, if the statute of limitation prevent us from charging some people, then we're not charging those people because we'll be violating their constitutional rights, but we're letting the Liberian people know that here are the things that happen, but we can't do anything. And those people that need to be charged, we charge them and we allow them that day in court. What I will not stand for is what the CDC government has done to McGill, and they have done to Serena Cephas, and they have done to Bekuba Jr. Is these people were asked they were relieved of their position, and the president said that there will be an investigation. And these people begged for a day in court to clear their names. We should not have something hanging over Liberian citizens' head and not give them the chance to go to court and clear their names.
But Cecil, let me comment. It was good that
hold on one second.
Hold on. Let me just
hold on 1 second. Let's the new folks come in. Let's say them. I don't want to be like a liberal. He's good at packing. But just hold your thoughts. Amos George is here. Pa George, good evening, welcome. Koto, good evening, welcome.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a person who's gonna be in favor of you not even clear your decks and you just try bringing cases. So I think that there are going to be a comprehensive revisions of some of those old things, because these are very things that people frown on for the reason they voted the way they voted. So these sort of so-called cold cases, which are not really cold, they could have been solved, but people decide to play some games. And of course, they are feeling the weight now. Hopefully, they're going to be looking at it. Emma Joy, good evening, welcome.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here we are. Koto, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Good evening to all, and good evening to the people of Liberia. Good morning, whatever time you guys are around. I want to say hi.
Are you in Rhode Island?
On noon location.
On
noon location, please.
I was just like to talk that she in government this time. She since the election, since they won the election, when she speak, she can speak to everybody all over the world this time. But first, she just start fire already and just start plowing this time. Good evening to everybody in Bucketside. Good evening to people in Roji, in Kawe, and everywhere you watch it up.
But now we are showing to those kids how
they finish appointing her. She didn't tell you they finish appointing her.
She said, but you probably want to live on Sanction Avenue. Yeah, just stay on Sanction Avenue.
The Bible said it. There is time for everything. There was time for campaign, and there's a time for leadership. We have to serve as leaders now, not in a campaign mood. We are unifying people. We are here to show them how things should be done rightly, not to repeat what they did. So we are on a different side. We're going to show to them what leadership is.
I don't want to be friend to the minister at all. I mean, I was saying I don't want to be friend to the minister.
Okay. All right.
I ain't even gotta be minister, but what I ain't gotta be minister, I ain't gotta be what the country need. If I have my own contribution, that will not stop me from giving, my contribution or my ideas or whatever advice I need to give. I will not hide behind that. We did it for the we are government. I can do it for the government that I put in power. It's just I didn't want to listen to some of the things we're saying. But Liberia is for all of us. It's not for a particular group of people. So in leadership is completely different from partisan. No, this is not partisan thing anymore. We are just on the issue of Liberian people. That's all we are here for. I'm not partisan thing right now. We're talking about partisan thing when we're running campaign. Now we're talking about the people, the Liberian people thing. That's what matters to us now.
Okay, let's get a ball rolling. Amos George, let me come to you and then go back to Koto. Let's hear what's on your plate this evening. There were a lot of things we're talking about here, but go into your own playbook. You don't have to go with me, go with the liberal and all of that, which of course you can't do that. So let's hear from you.
No. Today I saw a press conference by LACC. They had a brief press conference. And it was a little bit shocking to me. LCC, they are never be having press conferences on George. We are wild this time they're having a press conference. But the guy said that they are now asking the American to assist them with more documents on the sanction about those who were sanctioned. And I was wondering about why the LCC now coming out to start asking why they didn't ask when Nathan Mangaden resigned at the time. Why not? Is it a show that he want to put out that and keep him there at a taking position where somebody to a job where they went mango and move, or where they got him Moses something from there? And so that's one of the things I'm wondering now what's happening. But let me say, sister asking about the legal time limitation. The guy who Joe Wiamu had an interview. He said that there's 5 years limitation. So after 5 years, you cannot go back to investigate these people. And he was saying that he had been fighting to change that law because that's a criminal act if you have no limitation. But you see what the guy did in the Senate cleverly. These are the kind of corrupt people in that place. People who kill in the nation. They went and passed a law that after 5 years, you cannot investigate anybody. You cannot go after anybody for corruption. You see how wicked these people are? And these are some of the things that Joseph Bonka government must hit, the Senate must change. You can't see from people that you say after 5 years, that's a time limit. After the 5 years, you can't go after them again because the limitation.
What was the basis of that?
Because they know exactly what they were doing, Mr. So. The guy was a director. Now, George, we are forced out. He had an interview of seeing these things. And he said these are some of the things he tried to lobby with the Senate to change this law. But I hope Sen Dylan and there, they should look at some of these laws. To revisit some of these laws is not right. You can't steal from people that you say after 5 years, which of course, any report I can see that one the government, they drag these cases, they're not going to set it down because they say after 5 years, hey, you can't go after people again because they will come and say, no. There were time limitation. Within the 5 years, you didn't file, so you can't come after 5 years. But to tell you how wicked these people are, these lawmakers, these are some of the laws they passed.
Do you think that's where some of, before breaking quarter here, we're talking about executive ordinances or executive do you think those are some of the things that the executive hammer going to carry them?
Of course,
that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. The director who did that job where they went and created a new bill to force him out. He was explaining. So you see how corrupt these people, how wicked these people are. But let me say something to these people. Once this was I've seen their order. Look, if the United Party be afraid of CDC demonstrating, then they must just step aside. They should step aside. If that what they want to start to intimidate people and want to buy, then you better step aside.
Yeah, CDC about demonstration.
Yeah, you're like crew boys. Big crew boys to intimidate you, then you step aside.
Oh, Emma Joyce.
What you supposed to be worried about is to do the right thing.
Crew boys? Crew boys, Emma Joyce?
Are you saying crew boys or proud?
You said juvenile. You used the word juvenile. Come out from the program. You said juvenile. So what's the difference between boys and juvenile?
Yeah, that's tribalistic. When you say that,
I thought you said proud boys.
It's tribalistic.
Proud boys
So
I think he's speaking figuratively as people who left Gramo Benin, not necessarily the tribe.
The tribe, I'm not talking about tribe. It's a group of
who left Gramo Benin in La Brazil?
You got in like the twisting for.
One I'm saying that today, I saw
Terry Miami to be
I saw one Kuya from Sano County.
Romeo Kuya.
Seeing that, the guy got a nerve that he doesn't want to see a rubber stamp president, a rubber stamp government. Because what he meant, saying United Party won the presidency, you don't want to see United Party having a speaker and a president pro tem. That would be a rubber stamp government. So they asked him, what was it? He said, oh, I spoke or nobody listened to me. Really? When last someone saw Romeo Kuya speaking out during the 6th of George Weah? That's the kind of thing they got designing. And that's what I'm saying. And where's Romeo Kuya? Romeo Kuya is a Sapo guy from Sano County, but they're all fall in the crew group. These are the line they're pushing. There's this people think, oh yeah, he's backing Funati Kofa. Romeo say, oh, I'm backing Funati Kofa. Who are these people? They are all part of they are all the crew boys. You afraid to speak something? I will speak it. If you said they are not crude, then fine. Then you can challenge me.
Back too slippery. You can't stay behind him. You
Okay.
try to stay behind him. You stay through
That figure already, I mean, it's not, but these are
The
the
man
things.
throwing you under the bus, is it?
No, actually, these are the kind of things they got doing. We have to call them out. When George is president, you had the president pro tem crew, the deputy speaker crew, the speaker, Grover from Maryland. None of them complain. Queer did not talk about rubber stamp government. But because Joseph Boakai is now elected president, now he come to push the line, oh, I don't want a rubber stamp government.
Okay.
But D-Flow, you better sit, when you sit down there and let our speaker should go to CDC, you people committing a political suicide. I rest my case.
Political suicide. I'm not sure whether Koto is on board. Koto, let's bring you in here. Listen to Amos George, his blood pressure now, his blood running through his veins.
No, that's not the blood pressure going up.
Unity Party should take it. But to be honest, here the how you call it? Unity Party. There's a lot on the plate because right now all the bagay, all the data clothes are going to be living in the hamper there. We don't want to hold CDC accountable. That's Unity Party. That's huge. Do you think that law should be
the speaker can stall that process? The speaker can stall a whole lot. The speaker can stall a whole lot for the Unity Party. If they don't know the political game they are playing, let it play away. They will see what will happen to them.
Last night we have our show.
Am I pretending now?
Mr. George and myself last night was so unique.
Please.
That when Mr. So bring you in tomorrow, will you still be this civil? He said yes. Not tonight.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. So, and thanks to my fellow panelists for tonight. I was just listening in the background, enjoying the discussion. And I would like to speak on a certain issue that you guys, were discussing. Probably I might touch on. I heard about the auditing process and the effectiveness of the LACC. The effectiveness of any institution or an organization comes, with the ability, the leadership ability of that organization, or like, let's say the presidency. If the president was asking every now and then on, feedback from institution or report, because I have this, I had this experience with the early leadership because it was my first time, doing business with the government. And it happens to be like I had a security firm. We had every 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, it was either after every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, the Monday, we were supposed to give a security report and be part of the security meeting. So those things made the security firm effective because you wanted to have report on hand to be able to give that report when you go to the meeting. And this is the leadership down that is saying, because if you have to see an effective leadership, you will have to prepare a report to give to the leadership that is coming in. I think this is where the effectiveness is coming. I'm thinking that's what it is. And they're talking about the audit process. You cannot come in leadership and just say, you jump in auditing the past term. It is not just done like that. The first thing is, in audit, you must first know what is on hand before you start to go to the past. There is no way I can tell you guys that Joseph Boakai will just come in power now and start auditing the early-led government. It's impossible. And I can tell you, I don't care how other people come in now to give support and just say in a month or in a year time, they will automatically jump into the early term. But what I know will definitely happen is that when they should have gone through the audit with this present government. What will happen is that the audit process may extend to the past leadership, and that is possible. Because the thing is, it's just the thing about people worry about audit when you don't have a document, your transaction documented. You get a further audit. I serve as a chief accountant, and every day, for me, for accounting, you should expect that every day you make your daily report. And based on that data report, you get a weekly report. And on a weekly report, and it goes on monthly report, you have to make it. So I see no reason why people will be afraid of audit if this process are in place. And it will definitely, it will automatically take place as they go on, because if you finish with one term, you jump to the next term. When you finish with that term, and jump to the third term, and you go again, you continue with that term. And I see people talking about the protest. People protest on issues. What is the issue are you coming to protest on? Those are things people will be looking at. Because if you come to me and tell me, oh, Joseph Baka just coming in power, so what? What are you protesting for? You have to tell me, and if I feel that what you are saying makes sense, then I join you in protest. I was here when Costa, on the opposition side, when Costa said you were protesting for George Weah to step down. I was one of those that said it's not right. That was an elected government. You cannot go and protest and just say the person should come down. And I could never stand for that. I never supported that. So you have to come with an issue. If the issue makes sense, and be able to gather people around you to support you, you can go around and protest. And the thing about protest is not even having a group of people to say are protesting. It's the matter of even getting a placard and get that information on a placard. It speaks loud volume, and even going to get a group of people to come. If you have an issue, go to the president or go to the person that immediately need to handle that issue. If it is not issue, you take the second term and third term. If that does not resolve, then that's the solution to go on protest. Protest is not a solution. For me, I never protest. I never supported any protest. Because what I believe in is to take to dialogue. And the dialogue works better than going to stand in the streets and, the situation become chaotic. Because what happened? You go to protest, there are a lot of people going for protests for different reasons. There are people who go in there to loot. There are people who go in there to meet, to hurt their enemies.
Let me stop you a little bit. Talking about protesting, and if you have people got to tell you, so by them telling you, is it seeking your concern? Do you have to agree with what they are saying? Don't you think that's also they can say it? It doesn't mean there are so many ways people go out there to express their political ideas. You don't have to agree with them. So why should people tell you? Yes, Mike Costa, that his beliefs for which he just wanted the president to step down. Me coming up to this man is not a president does not mean he's not a president. He is a president.
Yeah, that's the same thing I'm saying. I think we're saying the same thing, but maybe saying it in a different manner. If you came to me and told me that Joseph Baka is not a good president, you coming to win me over. What are you telling me? Joseph Baka is not a good president. What is the issue? So you have to come up with an issue, and if that same issue affecting me, then I join you. But if you're saying something that doesn't make sense to me, I'm not.
So if it doesn't affect you, if it doesn't affect, come in 1 second, Caesar. If it doesn't affect you, but it's affecting that person because it is not you, so are you saying that the person should not protest?
No, you see, that's why they have norms, they have laws, they have rules. All of these things are said because we have our individual differences. What bothers me does not bother Pa George, does not bother Sissy. But if it goes against the law, if it is against the law, You see, because my individual belief, if I just want something, my heart desire, it's not only me, but what the law says.
The night is too good for confusion. Nobody can.
Yes,
like I
No, Liberal, we're here to have a conversation. We're not here for good night business. Yeah, make your point before I go to it.
I go to the law. I take my issue out. I will go and meet the people that are responsible for whatever I'm experiencing. If people see reason in joining me, they will come and support me. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying because I'm affected, it means it's not hurting me. I'm hurt. But it doesn't mean because I'm hurt, I go and disturb other people that are not hurt.
All right. There's some vanishing
thing. It's not lawful. I come and protest against it. So we all talking about taking the issue up rightly, not just jumping in the street. Who did you address with your issue and it was not met?
Article 15.
Your co-panelists, and some of them are far from what you are saying. Ceci.
Article 15. Article 15.
I'm not saying something that everybody's going to agree with me. And that's what democracy is.
Yes. Article 15. Yeah. Article 15 of the Liberian Constitution does not say I have to go dialogue with anybody before expressing my fundamental rights as guaranteed under the Constitution. So I don't have to go. Hold on. Koto, I understand now. Just hold on. Because you carry all around, you brought up out of the same place. I don't have to convince you. You just said that I can go and read a placard by myself and protest. So why do I need to convince you? And there is nothing. Hold on now. I'm still talking, my sister. You're talking all with them for you. You get all right, bro. All right, by here. The children to sing the song. They say, don't get me all right. Not do me nothing. Where right, bro?
You use the singer song?
Oh, yeah, what is the singer song? So, because you're saying that people to protest, they can convince you, but they don't need to convince you. They can write a placard. And what have you done to go and talk to the people in the law? And that's so that because you don't join the street and inconvenience people that are not being affected by this, Article 15 guarantees me that. Article 15 of the Liberian Constitution guarantees me that. And the second thing you said that I also want to make sure that it doesn't go unnoticed is that you said that dialogue has solved so many problems over protests. The true we government, the one-party government, party leadership in Liberia, did not give anything beyond because they were dialogue. They gave stuff because of protest. Because of protest. It was why we went to multi-party democracy. And if you look at countries like America, the civil rights law legislation was not given because of dialogue. It was given because of protest. So there are so many places where protests work, and that is the reason the Liberian Constitution codified in Article 15 our rights to assembly and our rights to free speech and our right to hold people accountable. He said, I got first go talk to the law, talk to the other person. I don't have to get involved in that. I can wear my placard, I can go stand, I don't have to convince Koto. When Heron Costa said George Weah should step down, you didn't agree with him, but you were able to put thousands of people in the street. That didn't stop his protest. No, but then don't care.
Yeah, that's what I. But sister, we're saying the same thing, but you only saying it different.
No, we're not saying the same thing because you said we should not protest.
No,
you started forward that we should not protest.
I am saying what affects you. I don't have to be forced to do what.
I'm focused on your beginning statement. Your beginning statement was we should not protest. We should convince you why we protest.
Okay, let's Joy. Okay, guys, we gotta make progress.
No,
we gotta make progress. Okay, let's hear from Joy. Let's hear from
if you come up with your issue and say you want to protest, I will want to find out why you want to protest if I have to join you.
No, you said I should
convince you.
I should convince you.
If you have a problem, take the issue out.
Okay, guys.
And you are saying protests have worked so many things, but there are so many things that protests have not helped. Even to go right to our
those things, these are just the democracy go away, whether we agree or we don't agree. Okay. Emma Joyce, quickly here. On this here, so we can have we are already. Okay. What's your version?
Most of the things now today we achieve overcome at the end result of protest. Because normal government are always stubborn. They don't listen to the citizens most of the time. So at the end result is protest. And it forces leader to do what the people want he or she to do. Nations. Session mentioned about.
If you listen to me, I said that's the end result. If people ain't listen to you,
Hold
that's
on,
the
my
end
sister.
result. Protest.
Okay, let's.
You were
And
speaking.
so we're going back to the same thing. That's
Let
the
me
end result.
manage
If I
when,
raise my issue, you don't listen. I come to the next one, I tell you, you don't listen. Then that's the last result. I protest.
No. Listen.
It's not even the last result. It can be
No.
the first result. The Constitution guarantees you to do it anytime.
It could be the first result for you.
Madam Cotto,
hello. Let Amos speak his mind, and then we can go spin the room and make our. You see, you're allowing the liberal to get away with stuff here tonight because, like, you know, tonight by very tired. I think if who is okay.
The Constitution gave us that right to assemble at any time. Anytime, it says. It's a one for them to say, you can petition your leader. You can ask him to resign if they are not serving you in the right way. Those are things the Constitution gave up for us to do. We don't have to consult anybody. Tomorrow when I can get out, I hold my placard and say, Joseph Barker should not be suing. It is my right. Other people will say, no, but that's my right. It is guaranteed under the Constitution. In this country, the voting right act was not passed because of the will of the government. It was because persistent pressure from people. They saw the need that, hey, we cannot no more continue people. We have to give them this right. If they had just sat down, it would not happen. 1979, 75, something to them when we took part in our riot. When Bacchus Martin and Kingdom Liberia, they said, look, we were tired with one-party states. The government said, okay, hey, you got to register. They want to register the entity. They say, we want multi-party states. The government said, no, we're not prepared to give people this time. The government said, we'll carry rice price at this time. They said, no. Rice cannot go up. So therefore, what we'll do, we'll put people in the street to demand the government not to increase the price of rice. They put people in the street. People died. Property was damaged. Rice price did not go up. The government changed her posture. They say, hey, don't come and raise your political party so you can contest the election. If they would have sat down, if Bacchus Matthew, may his soul rest in peace, Chair Chipo, Deacon Carroll, Oscar Jayikuya, all these guys, Wesley Johnson, Alias Soare, Samson Toro, if he was scared that day to go and gather with that money, there would have been no multi-party democracy today in Liberia.
It might be way beyond the land. Who say you can be in the phone?
So please, your United Party people should not go down and ride with us. Stop there.
All right. It's 10:05. We'll try as much as possible to keep it to the point, but we gotta give our closing argument. And you see, that's the beauty of this network here. When they're ready, they get on one another through. When something to stay, or they are like doing research on the computer, and they enjoying your thing and everybody. Okay. Well, I'm not sure what's gonna happen in it, but quickly here, and you guys in your closing, you can speak about it. These statements, commendation coming from these are high-profile Democrats, and that's a ruling party here, with this fighting of corruption, congratulating the president-elect and all of that. The possibility that they're going to give good support in terms of equip the system that will go after corruption, tracing of money. I think this is what if the president will hearing he's going to Washington D.C. if he's to meet with these people, I think this is where the shining star going to come from here. Because when they're saying this, this is something the people, U.S. government really frown on this corruption, because most their money that they give is taxpayer money, and these money is being misdirected, misappropriated so badly to the extent this can also suffer a big political backlash at home because oh, you're giving the people the money, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. At the end of the day, they enrich themselves. The money has been misappropriated, no accountability as well. So in our closing here, let's see what let's do let's play the minds of the president. Like what really he gonna be asking, and what sort of help do you guys think that he would need from Uncle Cent in the fight against corruption? Who wants to go first? As we close out now, let's condense everything into a mini. Hopefully, no cado over it, no 1 minute 30 seconds.
Something I said earlier.
Eh?
I said I think D-Flow wanted to respond to something I said
Oh,
earlier.
D-Flow is D-Flow? You want to respond?
Yeah, I want to touch the issue about what Caesar was talking about. I have already said that, and I truly believe that we cannot play games with the people. Talk about the fear of protest, delay. Talking about we should delay it, like what Cisco will talk about here, the delay audit. I'm not sure what the laws are in Liberia that if let's say if Guerra was the Minister of Transport and he bought El Paso land, built a huge house with stolen money, and happened to notice that he will be audited, and they took that property, decided to market that property to the laborer there, told, can we go back? Is it possible that that property can still be taken away if we decides that, okay, I'm going to be audited here because I stole money, and I maybe the best thing I can do is to sell this property to Toll. Can we go back and twist that and say, well, Mr. Toll, you bought a stolen property? Because my sister at Quarter is arguing that we should delay audit, and I don't know why. We can go on and walk. We can and still walk, right?
I'm not saying we should delay the audit. I'm saying that it can come from one step to another. It's not delaying.
Okay. But you agree that the audit should take place, right?
Yeah, of course. You have to audit.
Okay. Let me get my closing now in 1 minute. So I want to say thanks for the opportunity again to be here to speak as D-Flow, not speaking for the president you like because I'm not even close to that authority. But I want to say this much to those of you who have been talking about the president you like is not in the public space. Of course, Washington, D.C. is open to see the president this week. The president elect will be in Washington, D.C., and we'll share with you people pictures from Washington, D.C. To Clemence's visitation here in the United States before returning to the Republic of Liberia. Just so you guys can know, the president will set a tone for the next 6 years. We are not going to listen to people who were out there promoting their candidates and lost the election and want to decide for us when the president should come outside, where the president should go, what he shouldn't do. The president will decide that. This is a government that will run. The government is going to be headed by its eligible people. And I would like to see a government where we have adults in leadership, especially ministers should be ministerial positions should be headed by people who experience, people who have served in government. Maybe deputy positions be given to people who just want to learn a little thing about government before they move forward. But we cannot do the same mistake as the CDC to bring in young people to take over the government with no experience to lead. Will fall right into the CDC problem. So that's perfect.
Thank you so much. Let's go to my man Terry. Terry, you are my guy on this network here. They try to do everything to win you over. So it seems to me, Unity Party, they were in the opposition, they were ruling establishment. So, and I know CDC I think that they better be in opposition because of that, their way of doing stuff, even though other people are supposed to go behind the rusty iron bar, they didn't go there. So they will do everything possibly they can to create some sort of distraction, whether it's necessary or not, which of course they have the right to express it. This is where the Unity Party needs to be careful as well. Correct?
Certainly, Mr. So, and I stand by my statement, and people can chew me up any way they want. But I know exactly. I was in Liberia. I just come to America. I've been here for like 8 years now. So I understand. I've been in 2 elections in Liberia. I voted in 2 major elections. I lived in Liberia during the war. Like I said the last time, I witnessed the killing of somebody at the age of 11 years old. So I understand what Liberia went through and what Liberia is still going through. So I'm not going to take a back and be crying, oh yeah, shivering. No. CDC is very good in the opposition. As a matter of fact, during Elling's time, when UNMIL was in full gear, CDC challenged the government with major protests all over the country. To understand, the government had to use excessive force on them, and that led to the killing of some of the guys during the 2011 elections. I don't know if we follow these things, all right? And they had Elling, they had all kind of provocation for Elling, all right? And it really caused trouble. If our country, with the lack of George Solo, if our country had, if we didn't have UNMIL, Liberia, that different story we'll be discussing right now. And many Liberians have forgotten. You understand, eh? And so with them now having to have tasted power, knowing very well that they have all this corrupt money in the economy, you decide to pick and choose to go after them. What do you think they're going to do to your government? Like you guys are just talking about protest. You are just stretching all your being, have protest, cheating, and other things. You think CDC is going to come to you small way? Very well, what they have done. So if you say that, okay, everybody is on sanction, you must also be prepared to also haul Prince Johnson to court. Be able to haul Barney Sherman to court. So I'm one of those. I call on the network here, and I said to Pap 2 that I do not like the way how these sanctions are raining down in Liberia, because we don't know what it may lead to in the end. But because if you sanction these people, you have to prosecute them so that they can be put away, because it will scare investors from coming. When they hear the story that, oh yeah, this person was sanctioned for crimes against humanity, the other person did it. How investors will come to meet all these people in the country with all these heavy crimes? How you expect them to come to your country to develop it? It's not going to happen unless you put them away. So you have to prosecute these people. But in prosecuting them, you have to do it with wisdom. Otherwise, you're going to create chaos. Because all these people you're trying to prosecute, they are powerful people in government. They manipulate the people, and the people put them into power, and they're sailing on the ignorance of the people, and they're making millions. How are you going to deal with them? So you got to use wisdom. So my recommendation was, you need to call international investigators to help you in the process, beef up your security, and all of those things. You can single-handedly, do you have the security? Do you have the manpower? Do you have the ability, the equipment to engage these things? Do you have them? Do you have the money in the economy to finance these things? Do you have them? These are my these are my concerns. And I believe you don't. What is your budget? Right now, they're talking about the budget was 700 million. Right now, the budget, they're telling us the budget is 600 something, and the budget have been postponed. Do you have the mechanism to handle what is coming to you? Do you have that? So you know, we got to take into consideration these things. And saying these things does not mean that you guys are wrong. It just means that we need to take into consideration that we have a fragile state. Our state is broken down to an extent that we don't have the ability to handle what the damages that have been caused, the damages from the 6 years, the damages from the 12 years. We are working on damages that we do not have the capacity to handle. So you got to work on it with wisdom. That is my advice. CDC is very good at
what sort of wisdom? Wisdom of what?
Wisdom of addressing it. Like somebody said, when your hand, we got an old proverb that say, when your hand in the lion more, what you do? You take it off slowly. That is what the proverb say. You take it off slowly. You
so CDC like lion, like brother they hand in CDC more?
Yeah.
Oh, man, Terry.
Look, well, I may sound very ridiculous to some of you guys, but what I see and live in Liberia and
Terry, don't mind that. They want
people power.
Now
you give the people power for 6 years.
I was not born in America. I live in Liberia during the war. I walked through Liberia during the war. People keep away from me during the war too.
Terry, you guys want to make you off. Don't mind that.
Terry, don't put fear in none of us. From 1989, December 24th, I was in Liberia.
Put fear in you.
No, I come in. You talking about you live in Liberia, this and that. I just want to tell you, December 24th, 1989, I was in Liberia. New Year Day, it was one of the first BBC reporter across into Liberia. I was in Monrovia. I stayed there. The internal government came. Taylor came to town. So some of us, you may have stayed there for 2 elections. And some of us have been in and out of Liberia. So don't come and put that I live in, you see. What's the most?
I'm speaking for myself. I'm speaking on what I saw.
I'm just coming, old man.
Speak for yourself and speak on what you know.
Old man, you were talking. I didn't interrupt you. So some of us live there. Some of what we saw, I saw it. What you saw, someone else saw it. But this notion that CDC is good at opposition, so therefore the government must be very careful how to go after them. Oh man, I saw Jefferson Tamakodi the other day coming from the court. I did not see 4 person in the pickup. I saw 1 person in the back of the pickup. Look, we have to be real. If we want Liberia to move forward, then you would a bishop and reverend, you step aside.
Okay.
You would a bishop and reverend and
investigator. I
step aside. You step aside.
You go clean your mess.
Because
so
this thing, we are not going to continue to reward people for bad behavior, for robbing the country, and we say, oh, we're scared.
Wow.
I said no, and different no. The country devil, the Zoe is the worst person, that bear the penalty than anybody. The Zoe. Because when the devil ready to treat the Zoe, say you ought to know better. So when they treat the Zoe, you stand around, you say, hey, I will not pass it because if they can treat the Zoe, they're waiting about me. So
this the people that post up to order dinner again.
This thing here, if that's how you people want to run the government, you can't tell you to no. We must follow the law. The only thing I say, no witch hunting. Let us follow the law. If the law says this is a limitation, it is expired, fine. But if you fall within that bracket and you're found guilty, bear the penalty.
I agree.
Bear the penalty. But this thing is now, we got to be careful because CDC, hell no. Who cares? If George Weah is named tomorrow as being corrupt, he must be investigated. If they can put Donald Trump here in Georgia and take more shot at him, now who in the hell can go there? Why people must sit down and exploit the country and we say, oh, because we are all one. We are all one, then your daughter is in America and my nephew sitting on the floor. We are all one. Please, man. And let me leave on a note. D-Flow, you'll be the commissioner on immigration. Good night.
A mighty long way. A mighty long way.
All right.
Yeah.
Mighty long way.
Yeah.
A mighty long way. A mighty long way. They put my name on the sanction list. Look, they said that too, I can be sweating under air condition. You're talking about CDC get power? The man forgot his student companion. That my first time saying, Paku reading, the man putting, I think, my man, I'm begging you, man. I'm begging you. Tamba Koji move in Liberia to the courthouse with less than 20 people again. People must run away again. Look, people, what folks are not understanding the analytic piece about this. When the CDC had not come to power, they could sell aspiration.
Yes.
They could tell the people that we are your champions. They could tell the people that for so long the Congo people and the elites has held us down, and we need to bring the first black president, whatever that meant, to power, and we will serve the grassroots people. The CDC, before coming to power, had people buying their own t-shirt, like going and printing George Weah on it. Look at the last election. How many people bought their own t-shirt print George Weah on it?
Now only case in the feet.
Now you have disenchanted sedition. Was that ever a thing you heard about when CDC were in power? Because the people now understand that these people saw them just hot air. And these people are in Liberia saying now that the reports are coming out showing that these poor people amass so much wealth while their partisans are dying from hunger and they are dying because there's no medicine in the hospital and infant mortality has increased. None of these people got the power to put anybody else out because their own people will not follow them. So Latin CDC was strong in opposition yet, or before they got in power. Nobody else and threaten the state.
When the people stop you from entering Blofa, they're not you on your own. Nobody can do your rescue.
Who was that boss? Who was that?
Oh man, you probably from Bon Country. You're not from there. Well, I'm making you vessel in it here.
So I'm from Moscow. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay, yeah, let's hear from Koto before we go.
Mr. To, I want to also tell Terry that those days that the CDC could gather and just, protest, and they did not beat up with resistance have passed. We saw it this election period. When CDC get ready, they will carry on right up to the 2020 election. All they suppress people. They went on carrying on, threatening start on the electors. But we saw it this 2023. The people met it with resistance. So it's no longer time to kind of intimidate the other people when you are coming and bringing story to them that they don't believe. And I still come to that you would not just come convince somebody because you're in power, you have left power, and you were corrupt, and can't tell the people, say, let's go protest because they said Tamakoji was corrupt. Well, who listened to you? The people have been managing their lives. They will come be protesting. The time for those things have passed. If you come with a tangible issue, that people will see reason to support you. But you come on, okay, you say because you just get out there today, I'm feeling the way I'm feeling and I'm going to protest. It will be you. And that's the same thing I'm saying. That's your feeling. It's not affecting other people, even though I'm supposed to be concerned what's happening to you. And we need your consent.
They won't give me bad dream. They won't give me bad dream.
Issues that affect our people, not just individual. We're supposed to meet individual needs according to what it is, but not to kind of infringe on other people's right. Because I didn't go last night, I can't infringe on what it called default when I sleep today because last night I didn't sleep. That's not it. So you come in with issue. Bring it that is tangible. We will address it in a possible way. So that's why I see in this whole thing that protest is not going to is not an intimidation to this government. They did it during any time. They used to be protesting. Eddie used to come down from her car and start reading their posts. Yeah. She would read it one by
Oh,
one.
yeah.
The people
All
won't
right.
stop
Yeah,
them from
yeah,
protesting.
yeah.
Eddie would say, stop.
You get ready to they get a hot water key.
Yeah, but they were there. They started putting out
Very
people. Eddie
bad.
used to get down
Oh my goodness.
and call
Okay.
them. You say what happened? You say you got a problem? Come to me. Let's go in the office. Let the other people wait and let's discuss their problem. But I'm surprised the way they were handling it. And that's not the best way to handle it. Let's talk about your problem and we'll be able to solve it if we can solve it. I say thank you guys today. It was a good show and
like in the words of the liberal, your good night.
Oh, so the liver is off? You're not
getting. I will close the show. Anything you make us so.
You won't say nothing yet?
No, I'll open my mouth.
He been doing his research for that cover.
All right, let's hear
you. He was on here last night. Everything was going.
I said last night it was so beautiful. I never knew.
Who responsible for what you're doing?
Now you. But no, Mr. So it's a wonderful show. All I want to say and what I'm going to say to you is, I think let us don't discuss CDC anymore. They're no longer in existence. CDC is done. Let's focus on what this government.
They're the one we need to advise. Because all
you hosting, don't even bring CDC knee on it.
Well, why are you bringing for Nati Kofa? Why are you bringing for Nati Kofa?
Okay, good night.
One for Nati Kofa from CDC. Why are you supporting him?
So thank you very much. It's a beautiful show. I enjoyed myself tonight, and I'll say good night to all of you. Thank you very much.
The labor will prepare good for tomorrow.
The Memphis daughter here go for the Saturday weekend. Okay, guys. Thank you so much and have a pleasant evening.
Yeah, good night,
guys.
All right. Okay, folks, sometimes that's how it be. We want to say thank you so much for your time, your comments, your tweet, your interactions, your suggestions, your agreement, disagreement, holding us accountable is what also good. We say thank you so much for being part of tonight's program. Leave your comments, your suggestions, what you make of it, where we fell short and that we need to improve, or some things we need to do, or things that we need to add. Again, if you demand too much now, we need this inclusion, the participations of people of in society. If you're a lady here and you want to form part of the talking points on LPR here, let us know. We will bring you here as well to be one of the pundits or one of the commentators. Regardless of your political affiliation, we do not sanction to voices. We intend not to leave people, no one behind. Our conversation is directed in the sense of fair, balance, and proportional conversations. It doesn't matter which side you support, you believe, just let us know, and you can also be here. Well, all eyes right here in the ocean state of Rhode Island, unfortunately, because of different time issue, I will not be there. But again, my request to sit with the president-elect, I wish, but I hope maybe at some point in time, I was denied. And that's strategic, and that's a good decision in as much as you don't want to expose your guy when he's not in the wheel to turn the wheel of the country. There's one president at a time, and the only president that is there now is President George Manuel Weah. So until then, after the date set, when he shall be inducted and take the oath of office, I do solemnly swear, Ambassador Joseph Newman Boyka, do solemnly swear. Then we know the safety and affairs of the country is in his hands. We can now say all Liberians. So he's a full access to all Liberians and now United Parties or whatever group. Until then, folks, thank you so much for your time being with us here this evening. By God's willing, we'll be back here during the weekend for most news and programs. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I'm a customer of Uncle Musa. I came here to get some things from grocery. Their things are so nice. They never get expired. They are the best quality. They have the best price ever anyone can get. They have so many things like cream, like meat, a lot of kind of meat. We have so many kind, and it's the best grocery store I've ever seen here in Woodland. They are located at the 65th and Woodland. If you want, I really appreciate you guys to come over to come and patronize with us because they sell the best quality.
Uncle Musa's Groceries on Woodland Avenue, 65th.